Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we got a fun one for you today. We've got an image here. If I put my mouse over it, keep your eyes on it. It's going to start to morph into a different image. And that's a pretty cool effect. If I take my mouse off of it again, it's going to morph back out into the other image. We actually used this on a client's site, not this sci-fi thing. We used it as a before and an after on a pressure washing site. Worked really well and the client was really happy with it. No coding involved in this today at all. We're just switching out two images, and we touched on this with our little image hover effects the other day. I've just gone a little more extreme with it today. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the visual builder. And we'll roll on down. And we'll get rid of this image. We'll start from scratch. I'm going to get rid of the whole row. And we'll start from scratch. I'm going to add a new row. A little green button to add a new row. Inside mine, I'm going to put a single column. Obviously, adjust yours to taste. I'm going to use an image module, funnily enough. There we go. And let's add the image that we're going to morph into. So I'm going to use this little robot fella. And I put these two images together. I actually made sure that the eyes and the mouth were in a similar sort of place. That just made the effect a little more interesting. Now, to make this happen today, if you watch my horror effects video the other day, you're going to know exactly what to do. I'm going to save this. I'm going to go into the actual row itself. I'm going to go into the column that our image is sitting in. And I'm going to give it the background image that we want to see initially, which is the normal looking chap. So I'm going to go over to images. I'm going to hit add background images. There he is right there. Let's just make this a little bit smaller. It's taking up too much real estate at the moment. There we go. So we can save our row changes now, or column. I'll take us back to the row, save the row changes, and we'll go back into our little image here and start making things happen. Now, I don't know if you noticed then, there's a little bee popped up when I hovered over the image just now. I really don't want to see that. So we'll go into the image. That's actually the name of the image. To get rid of it or change it to something else, you can go over to Advanced and Attributes. There it is right there. You can change it, like I say, to something pertinent, but I don't want to see anything like that. I just wanted to focus on the two images changing. So to make this happen, I'm going to go to my design. I'm going to go down to filters and I'm going to make this go crazy. I'm going to change the hue. And again, I'm going to roll over, common to all Divi modules. If you roll over the dark writing, you'll see some little icons appear. We're going to be working with this little arrow icon today, which lets you set a hover effect. So when the mouse is not on it, I'm going to have this change around completely the other way, which is 180 degrees. So the colors are all changed. Because when we put the mouse on it, it's going to start changing from the fella that we see to this fella right here. So you can slide up, you can increment with your little mouse with these little arrows here. And again, I'm going to do the same for saturation. Make sure you get the little arrow up on each one you want to do this for. I'm going to have it very saturated on the desktop version. And then on the hover version, I'm going to have it going back down to normal, which is 100%. We're going to make sure we did that for this one too. I'm going to change that to 0 on desktop, so it's back to normal. Great. Don't want to do brightness. Don't want to do contrast particularly. Well, we could do contrast. That'll give it an extra bit of edge there. So again, on desktop, I'm going to take the contrast up all the way. And then when they hover over it, we're going to bring it back down to 100%. And this will all become apparent in a minute when we start going from one to the other. Don't want to invert it. That's a great effect, but it's got a white sort of thing in the middle. It's going to fade to white in the middle there, or grey even, and I don't want that. So I'm going to leave that just as it is. Same with sepia. I'm going to skip over opacity for the minute. We're going to be using that in a moment, but I am going to use a bit of blur. And again, on desktop, I'm going to blur this out quite a lot. So we've got a real sort of mess, really, mess of color. Can't really discern too much in there. Then when we hover on it, I want it to become sharp again. Great. Now this is where the fun part comes in. We don't want to see this guy at all. We want to see the normal looking chap, and then we want the normal chap to morph into this guy. So opacity, get the little arrow up. On desktop, when the mouse is not on it, we don't want to see this fella at all. So I'm going to drag this all the way down till we just see that image of the normal looking fella. Then when they hover over it, I'm going to bring it all the way up to the other side. So we've got a nice clear picture of this robot type chap. Great. Well, let's flip that back to desktop. And of course, this isn't really a morph, but like I say, I've got the eyes and the mouth in the same position, so we can kind of fake our way into it by using a very slow fade. In other words, opacity, we can slowly fade and have it sort of come in with all that blur and everything like that, and then suddenly get clear. You'll see the eyes take over sort of thing. So to create this kind of mock morph effect, we can do it with the transition timing and put it on a real slow time to get from one to the other. So if we go over to our advanced now, go down to transitions here, you've got a default 300 milliseconds, which to me is really quick. I'm going to take it up to 10 seconds, which is kind of crazy. Adjust yours to taste, but it does work for this sort of thing. If you slide that up all the way, it's only going to take you to 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds. Just type in the value you want over here. So I'm going to select the 2 and type in 10 for 10 seconds, 10,000 milliseconds. Don't want any delay. I want it to start happening when they put their mouse on it. My go-to speed curve for these hover effects is ease in, ease out. So if we actually go back to our design now, any of these filters, and I switch it from desktop to hover, it's going to take 10 seconds. Keep your eye on him. And all the blurs and filters and all that stuff's happening. And it's filtering into that other one. And the other way around, it's going to go back the other way. And like I say, the only thing that made that sort of effective is that I put the mouth and the eyes in the same place. And like I say, that's a really nice little feature. This is an extreme example. Like I say, we used it on a pressure washing site for a before and an after. Let's save our changes. Hit the little purple button down here, save draft or publish if you're ready. And when we did it on that pressure washing site, the client was really blown away, really enjoyed it. So let's go down to our little image down here. And it should be working for us. There's our normal looking fella. Mouse on. It's going to start morphing out into that Android looking chap. Just like that. Like I say, it's not a real morph, but it's a nice little effect. Take your mouse off. And it's going to go back. So there you go, guys. There's a little mock morph effect for you with your images. Really easy to do, as you can see. No coding involved in that today. And very impressive thing to have on your site. If you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you, or make a little demo video like this one. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.